Greetings and salutations, friends. I am Jeremy Tank, and if you are watching this, I am your brand guy. What does that mean? I don't even know anymore. Frankly, because there's so much work I'm doing with the manifest design process, with really helping people think through that whole process, your vision, your goals, your brand, what you want it to be, really defining where you are today and where you want to be, and what that friction in the middle looks like, right? What that tension looks like. Where do you want to be? Where are you trying to get to? I've been helping more people imagine their life, their own personal brand, their own business, their own, everything to me is like brand, but it's really this idea of what you can be, what your life can be, what things can be. I'm spending a lot more time on that these days than actual branding work, which is great. That gives me a whole new direction to really help people, a whole new direction to really grow into and to facilitate in a way that is helpful to people. So, right on. If you're interested in that process, you can check out my website, www.thinktankcreative.net. I talk about manifest design on there and what it's about. It's 7 sessions, really kind of digging in deep, and then the last session, eighth session, is all about you and what you shared with me, sharing it back at you, so you get that reflection, that mirror effect, helping you grow, helping you prosper, helping you be the best you can be in your steps moving forward, so you can get to that ultimate point, which really, this is everything we want to get to. When we can reach the point when we say, I know where I want to go, and I'm going to get there, right? Because we're good enough, we're smart enough. People around the world have been doing this life thing for at least a few thousand years. There's enough gurus, enough sages, enough masters, enough whatever to say that, yep, somebody's got a plan somewhere and they're moving it forward, and there's a general plan to follow. If you're part of the corporate world, that's, hey, goals, SMART goals, steps along the way, quarterly reviews. If you're in the guru world, right, it's all about, where am I trying to go? What does that feel like? Where does my life lead me, and how do I really make that successful for myself so I feel good about myself in every step I take? Wave and particle, right? One is full of possibilities of anything, everywhere, anytime. The other is, here I am actively working on something, taking steps, building it step by step, making it be what I want it to be. And it's this challenge between the two, because when you can imagine that future, you know that in any given second that something happens to you, you're still moving towards that future that you want. And that's super important, because you have a goal. If you have a goal, I hope you have a goal. I hope you have, I would say 5 solid goals, 5 solid things you're trying to actually move towards and build in your life. Because having those goals changes how you perceive the world around you. And I'm not talking like, make life better. I'm not talking, flippy, floppy, vague, nebulous goals. I want to hear something like, I want to get a brand new car that is this make and model, and I want to get it in the next year, right? More we can define things, more we make it really specific, very particle. Don't worry about the process to get it, but the end thing, the end goal. Make that really specific in your head. Imagine that really specific. Or imagine creating that thing. I want to finish my remodels on my kitchen, right? I want to finish that stuff, get it done so I can actually enjoy being in that kitchen. I want to... What else? Here's the thing. Think of it like... if you've ever been in martial arts, the idea of punching through, right through the camera, punching through the block, punching through the wood. You don't want to aim right here with your goal, with your specificity. What you want to do is picture, a couple degrees past that. So when you're thinking of, if you're thinking of your car that you want to get, and it's a very special kind of car. For me, I've been dreaming of one of those new Dodge Challengers. Those things just look really cool to me. I think that they're really neat. And even once or twice, I have rented one when I went out of town so that I could sit in the thing and feel what it's actually like, so I could smell that new car smell. and feel the wheel and feel the transmission as it kicks into the engine as it revs. And for me, it really reinforces that vision of that. And I say, okay, well, I definitely want to buy a new Dodge Challenger, and I want to buy a new Dodge Challenger, sometime the next year. What is that like? Well, now I can look back and actually say, okay, I understand what it's like to sit in it and to look around and to drive it and to rev it and to race guys down the freeway, because I've done that. I've experienced that. So I can add that to this goal, this wish list. And the more specific I can be in creating that end goal, the more I can say, okay, I know that I'm good enough to get there. I know I'm smart enough to get there. I know that the universe wants to deliver it to me, and I want it because I know how good it makes me feel inside. And I know that out there, that car is out there. So that's all particle. That's all of the quantum nature of things. That's all particle. I'm pretty well defined. That car is pretty well defined. Maybe it's not even built yet in this time, in this moment, but my interpretation in my head is that it's out there somewhere. It's on its way to me already. I am imagining it coming to me somehow, some way. And what that does is that triggers those connections in my brain to say, this is already happening. It's already in process. It's already mine. It's already, like, my interpretation of the world is, it's already mine. It's already on its way to me. So what happens then is that there is this friction in the middle, and I'm kind of putting my two hands here so you can see that there is a middle space. There's me and there's the car. And I want you to get to the point of kind of going, okay, I can release that middle space. I accept that these two are not in the same space, the same time, the same energy, the same this right here and now. And that's cool, because it's on its way. And when you do that, according to quantum science, according to quantum theory and quantum physics and the possibility wave, right? All of this space in between, just kind of going, it's already mine, it's already out there. All of this space in between does a dance. It does a funky dance, because as long as there's the possibility, and I don't try too hard to make it like active stones of something, as long as there's the possibility wave still in motion in there, then the universe can actually create opportunity that brings that two sides of things together. And I don't know what that looks like. In fact, I try not to know what that looks like. I try to remain open. I try to remain loose about that, because if in my thoughts, in my processes, in my wanting, my desires, my hopes, my dreams, my all of that kind of stuff, if I imagine the outcome in a very particle sense, then I know that in some way there is a quantum entanglement happening between my desires, my thoughts, my hopes, my dreams, my feelings, right? Because really those emotions, thoughts end up being this little wave up here, but emotions end up encompassing our entire body, right? I'm sure you've experienced this. Like, you've hugged somebody, you've been around somebody, even the feeling of love, that very first time you kiss someone, right? It's like an explosion in your heart. Your heart is beating so fast. Maybe your legs shake, maybe your hands feel numb and cold. It's all of these expressions, because feeling, emotional feeling, it's throughout the entire body. And that sort of thing really locks in quantum entanglement. It really locks in the future vision of whatever that thing is. And then we get too down in the dumps a lot of time of, okay, well, how am I going to make that happen? Well, let me see. I've got to put this much down, and if I follow this process and the harder you think about some of that, the less wave and the more particle that reality has to be to accommodate all of the vision that you have in your head. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense, so let me try and figure that out. The more that you try to imagine, contemplate, fixate on the steps that get you from here to there, the more the universe basically says, oh, that's what you want. You want all those little tiny steps to get there. Okay, we'll give you all those little tiny steps. Maybe not exactly like all that, but we'll give it to you. You say in your head it's going to take you like 3 years to get there. Okay, if that's what you think you want in your experience at being alive, being a particle, being all of that, if you think that you want to micromanage the universe, take control of the universe, and get what you want through all these little tiny steps over 2 or 3 years, okay, we'll go ahead and let you do that. Because that's the universe. What you want it'll find a way to accommodate that. Now, the flip side of that, if you imagine the end goal, really deeply, thoroughly imagine it, you want it, you dream it, you embrace it with your emotions, like this is standard visualization stuff. This is not anything new. This is what anybody who, even yogis, like, you know, people who are really into yoga, you know, visualize your pose, visualize your body, visualize your energy, breathe in, breathe out into the pose, really feel it, explore the energy inside of yourself. This is nothing new. Exploring that energy, feeling that energy, imagining it, visualizing it, embracing that future thing in all of your emotional glory, standard stuff at this point. It's that friction in between where we seem to be missing things. And I don't know if that's something that people don't ever talk about because it's the hidden secret, it's the nougaty center of the chocolate, or what, but it's the middle piece that people get really weird about because that's where they interpret what they need to do for life. And remember that your interpretation of any of this middle stuff, of your life in general, your interpretation is based in the way you were raised, the way you were trained, the things you taught were good or bad, the way that you had to behave in society, the way that people treated you, the reactions that you had from that, the emotional trauma that you felt from a lot of that. So for a lot of us, and you know, feel free to, you know, put a like or a heart or something if this is you. For a lot of us, what happens is as we're growing up, we're told we have to do certain things. Things don't happen unless you take the action and you take control and you do the thing. And basically that's true, right? The dishwasher is not going to empty itself. Once the dishes are washed, someone has to empty it. Absolutely, cause and effect. I can get that. But what happens is our subconscious, our mind, our essence, our ego, really, okay? Let's tell it like it is. Our ego, that part of us that is super physical, that determines, it's the combination of our conscious and unconscious minds that says, okay, I'm in control. This is my life. I'm going to handle things. When I go out and drive on the road, people are in my way, and I'm going to yell at them because they need to get the F out of my way. I am in charge. This is my life, my world. You are all living in my universe. Very me-centric way of looking at things. Well, these are the same cues, the internal training that says, okay, well, to get something I want in the future, that car, that goal, that whatever it is, I need to put a few $100s into a bank account every paycheck for the next 4 years, and then I can afford that car. And that is absolutely one way to do that. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I think you should do that because that's good planning, right? That is taking something that is in your head, that is an idea, a concept, that is a creative future for your own self, and it says, I'm going to take simple, tiny steps to get there. And you should. And you should forget about those steps. Here's the funny part. You should forget about those steps. You should be putting money in the bank anyway. You should just kind of be putting it in there as all kinds of different funds. And you should forget about it. You should forget about micromanaging the universe. You should actually try and create an opportunity where the universe surprises you. Universe, surprise me in the way that you get me closer to my car today. Surprise me in the way that you move me closer to that whatever future I am moving in. And in that way, you're actually interacting with the universe in this kind of playful manner, begging it to get not just these incremental steps for you, but leaps to get you closer in. Because when you ask the universe to surprise you, right? When you ask the universe to go ahead and just do something to make this a little closer, make it a little better. I'm not saying you shouldn't put money in the bank, not saying you shouldn't plan and schedule and do these things, because smart goals make things happen, right? It's just the truth. But you should also play with the universe, because if you are constantly doing those smart goals and also saying, hey, universe, surprise me, then things can happen that are completely outside your realm of conscious reality that you don't even have the control for. The world is far more complex. The universe is far more complex, far more interactive and interconnected than we generally choose to accept, because of that ego part that says, I'm in control, I'm managing things. And the challenge is that the ego, being particle based, because it's cells and atoms and all of these things here, is like the palm of the hand. Well, there's the whole back of the hand that's going on that, you don't even see. The whole backside is doing stuff you don't even know about. And people can be working for you and helping move things forward that you would never even realize. So I guess the interpretation there is allow possibility. And a lot of us get jaded because we hope, we dream, we think, we imagine that something is going to turn up and it doesn't. And sometimes it makes us angry. At which point, and I've talked about this before, a lot of the times when you get angry because something happens or doesn't happen, it's because the ego is trying to create control over out there. Out there. And out there is not under my control. It's not under your control. The things we can control, our reactions to things, that's about it, honestly. You really can't control your thoughts. Thoughts pop up, thoughts creep up from your subconscious, from all these different centers. Thoughts creep up based on interactions you have, based on songs you hear, based on things that are going on. And when it kind of floats by, you go, oh, right, that. And, you kind of bring it in, and if it's a thought, it kind of pops in there and keeps moving around. Maybe it triggers another thought or another thought and another thought and another thought and another thought. You can't really control a lot of that. You can focus, which is taking the space that those thoughts vibrate in and just kind of narrowing it down so you can, maintain what you can see. Those things are still going on in the background, and you can ignore them to a degree. Ignoring is not the best word. How about we can accept that they are there and thank them for popping up, because every idea, every thought, every transaction like that is attempting to interpret your current space of reality, where you are, what you are seeing right now, the things that are going on, and whether it's conscious or subconscious, is trying to influence your active moment, who you are and how you are responding in your active moment. And that's about the point that we have to go, oh yeah, I got to remember there's a lizard brain back here. There's a lizard brain that wants me to do things that are familiar, that wants me to do things that are safe, that wants me to do things that move towards some kind of pleasure, self-pleasure, something like that, and away from pain, away from the unfamiliar, away from fear, away outside of us. When we expect something outside of us to happen and it doesn't happen, we tend to get angry at that. And that's that lizard brain. How dare that car pull in front of us? How dare that other car take my parking spot? How dare somebody jump ahead of me in line in Starbucks? How dare somebody take up an extra 2 minutes at a cash move it up, see if it gets connected better. That's better. Just a little glitch in the matrix there. So the thing is that everything we're doing, everything we're seeing, the anger outwards is this juxtaposition, the contrast of what we expect and what we see, right? So if you want to not have that anger, maybe it's time to say, what is it that's actually making me angry? And sometimes you can actually say, it's a fear of not being in control. A lot of anger is based in fear, right? Because anger is this assumption, an egoic assumption of control in everything outside of us, or specific things outside of us. It doesn't have to be everything. And anger is based in the idea that I have control, when in reality we don't. We barely control ourselves. We definitely don't control everything going on in the body. We definitely don't control our emotions really well. When we repress them, it tends to make the body sick. So we're not really doing well there. The things that go on in the head that tends to poison us and downward spiral is when we have too many negative things going on. So we're really not doing well controlling the mind in a broad sense. So we're not doing well controlling the body. We're not doing well controlling the mind. What can we control? What do we actually control in this physical life? Your reaction is it. That's it. So if you embrace that, if you think about that, then all of these things that are happening to you and through you are interpretations of what's going on around you. It's because you're not actually seeing the default reality. There is no true default objective reality, at least not that any of us are experiencing. What we are experiencing is a very personal journey, a very personal reaction to the things around us. That causes us a lot of fear because there's just so much around us. And so we overcompensate with anger, with the idea of control. I can control something, anything around me, because I can't control myself. I can't really control my body, right? That's what happens a lot of times. But you can control your body, and you are controlling your body. Your body right now has not been given the right directions. Your mind is like a computer, okay? A lot of people say this, and it's taken me a little bit to understand. It's like a great computer, but you've been given poor instructions. You've been given poor operating code. You've been given poor directions, because you do control your body. You know, there's enough yogis who slow down their heartbeat. There's enough people who heal themselves when they focus on their own energy and their own internal feelings. There's enough people that clear out the voices and the noise from their head. There's enough people that integrate all the different subconscious parts of themselves that developed because of the trauma in their life and bring them all together to have one whole human being. So we know that people are doing this, and we know that people are doing this on a pretty broad scale right now. In fact, this is sort of an awakening in at least US culture, if not global culture, in a lot of metaphysical senses, because people are coming to the point that we're tired of feeling sick, we're tired of feeling tired, we're tired of feeling angry, we're tired of all of this division and upsetness. And when we look at what's going on, we see that a lot of the people that are driving these emotions are the ones who are living in anger, the ones who are living in fear, the ones who are living in a sort of division between who they are and what they want in the world. They're not being truthful to themselves. It's like if you can do one thing, it's to be truthful to you, to control you and your reaction to the world. And hopefully you choose, values and things you actually want to share with the world that are meaningful. Because when you spout and surround yourself with garbage, just remember that garbage in, garbage out, right? Garbage in, garbage out. That's what one of my old teachers in college used to say at art school. Because if you got garbage references, garbage language, garbage visuals in your head, then you're just gonna create garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. There you go. And she was very much like, find good sources, find good words, find good pictures, fill your brain, your mind, your heart with all of the things that are good and helpful to inspire you, to help you feel lifted up. Because the plain fact is, and I hate to say this, but I've hit a lot of it this weekend, is that there's a good chance that people are going to misinterpret you. And it's certainly happening to me. And it's very frustrating to me because as I try to clarify my point, as I try to clarify my view, I find that others end up telling me their story and the reason that they see the words that I say in whatever light. Literally, they are trying to control me because they haven't controlled themselves. And honestly, guys, just click off. Scroll by, do something else if that's where you are, because you control you. And if you're not willing to control you, then you sort of, to use words I used this weekend, aren't you living in a little bit of victim mentality? Because if you have to reach out to me and yell at me because you feel injured, because you did stop and listen to something I said, and you want to accuse me of something, then it's you who is living in anger of your own expectation, of your own fear, and maybe there's some introspection. And when I talk about getting that space between the initial thought, the initial something, and the reaction, maybe we need more of that space. Now here's the best thing, okay? If we come back to the idea of the car, if we come back to the idea of leaving the space of how that happens a little bit more wave, and the thing about the add money to account, absolutely do it. Why? Because you can forget about that. You can automate it. And the more you automate something like that, the less you think about it. The less you think about it, the more the universe opens up. I'm all for automating simple things so you can forget about actually doing something. And when it happens, when it's ready to happen, it's even faster. It feels fantastic. But when people challenge the idea that these things might happen, that the universe is moving in any behalf and moving things forward for you, that you're taking these steps, what they're really saying is you aren't capable of putting your faith in something, or that the universe is not worthy of faith. Now, the universe, in this sense, in their eyes, might be God, might be Buddha, might be anything, and they are literally challenging that the all of everything possible is not enough to help you reach whatever goal that you want to reach. Now, I have faith in the universe. I don't think that that's misplaced. But when someone challenges me, it's like, okay, what do you have faith in? And truth be told, it's very personal, but where is the line of faith? Where is it that you actually believe in? Because when I am doing these things, I place faith in a couple of places. One, I place faith in myself, that moving forward, I am going to make the best choices, the perfect choices that move me on that path to whatever that goal is. And I know that they're perfect choices because I am worthy of that future, and I am living my life as I choose to live it, in the values that I choose to hold. And as I move forward in each step, I say, what would future Jeremy do? What would future you do? What would, if you placed yourself in the spot of the person who owns the thing, what would you do? Don't change. Don't change who you are or what you want or how you live. Just say, in any given minute that you are given a choice about something, what would future you do? Because if you really want that future, if you really want that goal, you don't have to change. I mean, let's look at Steve Jobs. The guy drove a different Mercedes every single month because he didn't want to pay. He would rather lease a different Mercedes every month than pay for the tags and the plates and all that stuff. He didn't want to put plates on because people would track his car in California. Now, that seems absolutely absurd to me, but he didn't change who he was just for the car. He was a paranoid, kind of crazy guy. So he found a way to be who he was with his cars. And the guy loved to apparently really race around town like crazy. So, a different Mercedes every month, he can keep racing around and not really get caught. And that's kind of the thing, is that we know that between the present and the future, there's going to be some kind of friction. There's going to be some sort of shift that helps you get there. And whether that's micromanaging the universe, which is going to fight against you because the universe doesn't like being wrangled, or whether it's just being yourself and saying, okay, in any given instant, I will react as I would react. And I will react as if I have already got that car, as if I've already got that life, as if I've already got that $1 million in the bank account, as if I've got everything. I'm just going to go ahead and react as if it's already mine, which doesn't mean changing who you are. Stay who you are. Your identity doesn't change between now and the future. And the people who do change who they are, do change their identity, they end up in a pendulum right back to where they were, or worse. Or they have a really deep depression because they get to a financial level or success level that they deemed was what they wanted, but internally they shifted so much that inside they're essentially hollow. And that's a painful place to be. Because when you come from that spot, everything you see in the world, your entire interpretation of it, is hollow and gray and pain-filled and just sucks. I've been there. I get that. So yeah, everything that you are, everything that you look at, everything you want is within your life, is within possibility. Don't allow whatever you're dreaming about to fade. Bring it into your life. Make room for it in your interpretation of who you are in your life. Understand that there's a whole space that the universe can occupy in between now and then. And that space is ripe with possibility that you don't have any knowledge about. And that's good. That's where the fun is. That's where the play is. Let the universe play with you a little bit. It's fun. All right, that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoy this. Thank you so much. If you're interested in my manifest design process, comment below, send me a direct message, and by all means, like, share, do whatever it is, comment. Tag one of your friends in this video if it's useful to you, and I will talk to you later. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.